Hey guys, it's Archon. So recently on the public test realm for patch 1.0.8, they added a few changes to the wizard amongst a few other classes. And one of those changes is they super buffed the damage of Arcane Torrent. As you probably know, Arcane Torrent isn't used very much, and so they super buffed the damage, I'm guessing to try to make some new viable builds. And one of my viewers from the Twitch live stream found a cool build that might be good for killing Uber bosses. So it all started yesterday on the live stream when Grimiku, the community manager, came by and asked if we had tested out Arcane Torrent and Disintegrate, the two skills that had their damage buffed on the PTR so far, and we had not. I told Grimiku I couldn't think of a good build. I think that they need more than a damage buff, but we decided to give it a try anyway. So we hopped on over to the PTR. I threw together a quick kiting build, invited some viewers into the game, and started testing this Arcane Torrent build we kind of made up on the fly. We tried a few different runes around, and it was working all right. We were progressing through things, and it might be a fun build if you just want something new. However, when we tested the damage of the build, we realized that it doesn't do nearly as much damage as the Archon build. So it doesn't really make sense as far as efficiency. You get more defense and you do more damage in Archon, so I don't think you'd ever use it as a replacement for the Archon or CM build. However, we found an alteration to that, thanks to Resonator, that is amazing for killing bosses. It has to do with the Death Blossom rune and Arcane Dynamo. So this is the build right here. I'll put a link in the description so you can look at it. But all you need to do is get 5 stacks of Arcane Dynamo using Magic Missile. This will greatly increase the damage of your next skill that costs Arcane Power, which is going to be Arcane Torrent. And then you just hold down Arcane Torrent. Now you have to gear in a way that you don't lose too much Arcane Power casting it. But if you just get 1 or 2 pieces, you can actually cast Arcane Torrent indefinitely. As you'll notice though, Death Blossom does not go where you cast it. It does not matter where you click with Death Blossom. It's going to cast all around you. So you have to make sure you're standing near the bosses. Now you could change around a lot of this stuff. You don't really need teleport there. You could change around the energy armor you're using. I would suggest using Magic Weapon and Familiar for extra damage. I put on Blood Magic for lifesteal. It's going to be hard to stay alive if you don't have lifesteal on your weapon. Blood Magic was just some additional lifesteal. However, if you have a critical mass wizard in the group, it might be a little bit easier. They can usually stun lock the boss for at least most of the time. And one other thing, if you have a critical mass wizard in the group, you can put on Cold-Blooded as well. As you see, I have Astral Presence here, Glass Cannon, Arcane Dynamo. If you have enough gear that reduces the cost to Disintegrate or gives Arcane Power on crit, then you don't need Astral Presence. And you can replace that with Cold-Blooded if you have a crit mass wizard or whatever else you want. So there's a few pieces you can get. A Stormcrow is probably the best, because you can get a Stormcrow that reduces the cost of Arcane Torrent by 5, and it also gives you 10 APOC, and it also gives you life on hit. And it seems that Arcane Torrent actually scales pretty well with life on hit. So I was using it with life on hit and lifesteal just to stay alive during the Gome fight. However, you could probably do it with only the life on hit if you had like a critical mass wizard or you had something else blocking the damage from you. A Stone of Jordan can also work really well. It can reduce the cost of Arcane Torrent by up to 5 Arcane Power, and it also gives you a damage increase between 20 and 30% against elites, and that damage increase also applies to bosses and Ubers. So that's a pretty significant damage boost. It should mostly make up for the stats you lose. However, it doesn't give you the APOC and the life on hit that the Stormcrow would. So the Stone of Jordan might be better for people who already have Arcane Power on crit on another piece of their gear. You just want to get to a point where you have enough APOC and reduced cost of Arcane Torrent so that you're not running out of Arcane Power when you're just holding down Arcane Torrent, and enough life on hit and lifesteal that you're not dying while you're just sitting there channeling Arcane Torrent. But it's important that you can just non-stop cast it, because Arcane Dynamo will wear off as soon as you stop casting it. So anytime you have to stop Arcane Torrent, you're going to have to re-get your 5 stacks and start again. If you can just hold it down for the entire fight, you're going to be at a big advantage. So just try to play around with it, maybe get a Stormcrow and an SOJ, whatever works for you to get to the point where you're staying alive and you're not running out of Arcane Power. When we tested the Arcane Torrent kiting build against Gome, it took us about 39 seconds to kill Gome. Then we tested the just regular Archon build against Gome to compare DPS, and it was about a 30-second Gome kill, so a significant increase. And then we tested the Death Blossom build, and it was only about a 21-second fight. So a big increase from even the Archon build, and extreme increase from the Arcane Torrent kiting build. So it doesn't look like Arcane Torrent will be replacing CM or Archon, or will be a viable build as far as efficiency goes. However, it's going to be awesome for Ubers and other boss fights given that you have a critical mass wizard in the group. If you don't have a critical mass wizard in the group, it's probably going to be a little hard to survive, but still maybe manageable. But we just wanted to share this with you. Thanks, Resonator, for sharing it with me. Maybe this can help you guys out, and I'm definitely going to be trying it out on some Uber fights in the future. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, hit the subscribe button, and I'll have another one for you soon.